11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Just Too Sweet Show. Of course, I start to share the show during the two intros we have, and it doesn't pop up for me to share it, so I have to share it right now. So, what I'm going to say is, I am Mr. Big 60 Tintabala. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, A to Z, Eric. What is up, my brother?
Not much, my man. I had the same problem you did. I was going to share out to a couple too, to my page, and then you were going to share out to the rest, and I did not see anything pop up. So I think Mr. Faraci needs to get on his technical team and see what the hell gets, because I am still not seeing anything. I haven't got it in my notifications. I haven't got the feed, but I'm sure, being the diligent owner of a podcast network that Mr. Faraci is, he will get right on it and he will have it fixed in a matter of time.
I think that's a Facebook thing now. I don't know. It's weird.
I would guess, because Facebook, let's just be honest, is fucking half the time a piece of shit. Anyway.
Don't say it while we're on the air.
Oh, yeah, the algorithm will fucking cancel us. RC Cola, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. What do you got, Tim? What do you got?
I have
your bottle?
Zero Sugar Sunkist in a Yankee cup.
You know what? I got to say, Zero Sugar Sunkist is fantastic.
It is. It's pretty good.
It is good. It is really good.
I enjoy it very, very much so.
I enjoy it.
Well, folks, WrestleMania season. WrestleMania is only a couple weeks away. We will get into that too stuff. But let's get into some, little funny things. USA is up 1-0 over Japan in the championship, by the way. Had to throw that out there.
Championship of what?
The World Baseball Classic. It's the final game tonight, the championship.
Okay. I haven't been following it.
Yeah, well, last game tonight, USA versus Japan, so winner take all.
Got to do it.
So I said right before we got on the air, Eric, we were talking about yet another. As much as we love, Hulk Hogan, we do. He's our childhood hero, one of them anyway. He is what he is. He's a legend, one of the greats, one of the Mount Rushmore. But it seems to be him and a bunch of these wrestlers just have diarrhea of the mouth now.
Oh.
They just claim whatever they want to claim, say whatever they want to say. The latest that popped up, I think it was Dave, or I don't know if it was Dave or Gil who shared it on the Just Too Sweet page or our chat, that Hogan now claims, of course, after 50 years, he just got brought up out of nowhere, that he said during an interview or a promo thing that he said, "I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be," which of course is Bret Hart's popular saying. And he said that Bret and Owen would sit there and watch him do promos, and he wouldn't. This is his quote too. "I won't say they stole it, but he definitely took it and ran with it." So you're basically saying he stole it, Hulk.
Yeah, and like you just said, Hogan is without a doubt the reason that wrestling. I mean, anybody that doubts. I mean, everybody can go Steve Austin, everybody can go The Rock, everybody can say this, that, but dude, if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan, we would not be where we are today. There's no two ways about it, because Hogan did the resurgence of the 80s. He flipped everything upside down and made it great. And in the 90s, when he turned heel and WCW had the big run, and he turned it upside down again. So, dude, say what you will about all these guys like Austin. Austin sold more of this, and John Cena did more of that. Dude, without Hulk Hogan, there would not be an Austin or a John Cena or anybody. I'm sorry to say that, but that's, be as it may. Okay, so going off of Hogan, Dude, anybody that says that they were asked to be the basis of Metallica, I can't put much stock into what Hogan's saying, dude.
I remember that. Now let me ask you. Let me make sure that since you know that story too.
Yep.
Was this after Cliff died?
No,
This one in the beginning.
this is when they were forming, and this is like back in 81, 81, when he was still like an indie, like a territorial wrestler, and like he wasn't that famous yet, and he was a bass guitar player in the clubs, and I'm sure he'd heard of Metallica, because I'm sure that he knew up and coming music and stuff, but like, dude, saying that Lars asked him to audition, maybe not join, audition. Like, come on, dude. Like Hogan, like seriously.
How do we
like,
get that confirmed? We have to get that confirmed.
There are more than one sources out there.
This is what Twitter is for.
It is.
I'm going to take it upon myself to fucking tweet Lars and Metallica and ask if that's actually true.
He might respond to you.
You never know.
He might.
Eric, we have a very special guest with us. He was with us last week talking about WrestleMania 9, and now he's going to talk with us tonight about WrestleMania 10, which he was in attendance for.
So he was at WrestleMania 10?
WrestleMania 10 in the Garden. So let's welcome back Mr. Steve Grogan. Yo, what's up?
What's up?
Hey, what's up, Grogan?
I looked all over for my ticket stub. Can't find the fucking thing. I know I have it too.
Not to be confused with the former backup quarterback for the New England Patriots.
No. I don't have the mustache.
Did he have a mustache?
I think he did.
He did have a mustache?
When people send me pictures.
Oh, so it hasn't been okay. So I'm not the only one. That's
Grogan, we're just talking about that Hogan came out recently and said that Bret Hart stole "I'm the best there is, best there was, best there ever will be" from. Okay, he didn't steal it from him. He took it from Hogan and ran with it because Hogan mentioned it during a promo or some shit. What do you think of that? Because we all know Hogan and all these old wrestlers now have diarrhea of the mouth lately. They just claim the world is flat and all this other bullshit. So, do you think that's even possible?
Well, with everything you could find, there's no one that could find that evidence of it. I mean, come on.
Well, that's the whole point. Hogan. I mean, after 40 years, Hogan decides, "Hey, I think I'm going to tell people that Bret Hart stole his most famous line."
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. There's got to be, some sort of evidence.
Yeah,
of it.
dude. YouTube has pretty much like made every. You can't really say anything or claim anything anymore because pretty much YouTube will either debunk you or affirm you.
It's the greatest thing that ever happened.
It's the absolute greatest thing that's ever happened.
I freaking love it.
What Eric just brought up too, Grogan, is that Hogan claims that Lars from Metallica asked Hogan to audition for Metallica when they were being formed back in the day.
Yeah.
So I just said I think I'm going to tweet Metallica and Lars and ask if this is true once and for all. I have to know this now.
You can look up that story. There's an actual
I did hear
story,
a little bit about that.
And there's an actual article, a couple articles, and there's like Hogan actually talks about it, and then he actually tries to backpedal a little bit, but he doesn't he still kind of tries to claim it. So
I mean, at best, do you remember like the Real American like this? Like, really? Yeah. I think he's shredding it for Metallica. This?
Yeah. No. He was a bass player, though. I mean, he was a musician.
That's what I'm saying. I'll give him that.
But no. I can't see Lars asking him to audition for fucking Metallica. Like
I imagine Hulk Hogan dies in a bus crash in Germany if he would have became the bass player of fucking Metallica.
It was Sweden, actually, but
Sweden. Sorry.
Yeah. So and Cliff Burton, faces Savage at WrestleMania 5.
I mean, that's just weird.
That is weird.
Weird to even think about.
It is.
I don't know.
It's an alternate universe.
I know. It'd be one of those what if people to come around and say,
you think Hogan's
what do you want to know about?
He can tap. You think he can tap into dimensions and like say, like maybe he could be like, well, let me tell you something, brother. He went into I went into the 7th dimension, dude. And he gets confused of this reality and that reality. I don't know. Like that mustache probably has some fucking some prowess to send out some signals.
It's insanity.
A fucking bald head.
All these wrestlers that keep coming out with new shit every week, and it's like, are you guys trying to one up each other with your bullshit, or are you just? I don't know.
And they don't need to do it to stay relevant, dude. They are relevant, dude. They are like they're the like old in our culture. They're the fucking ones that are revered now. Like because they have more popularity than like Lou Thez. Like somebody who Lou Thez is. Nobody knows who Lou Thez is anymore. Not these young kids. Everybody knows who Hulk Hogan is. Everybody knows who the Ultimate Warrior is. Everybody knows who The Rock is. Everybody knows who Ric Flair is. It's like these guys are so ingrained in pop culture. Like, and Hogan, like, how many interviews, how many talk shows, how many things has he done? People are gonna be able to go back and cite that and say, well, I don't know. I don't know. Metallica.
I think for most young people today, I don't think wrestling goes like past Hulk Hogan as far as going back.
No, some of them I don't even think it goes that far.
Unless you really got into it and wanted to be like a historian and went back to San Martino and Thez and Killer Kowalski and guys like that, you'd have to really be
Fritz von Erich, all those guys. But I don't think it's like that though.
Hogan's probably that old guy that The Rock fought at WrestleMania that one year. That's probably who the Hogan is to most people now.
But I understand that for a kid today. I get that.
It's weird.
My older boys have no idea. I had to tell Nick one day. I was like, you know who that is? He's like, no. I'm like, you fucking don't know who Hulk Hogan is? Like, come on, man. And my other son, Elijah, who isn't in tune with anything in that world, knew who he was. So go figure.
Well, it's funny when Jax was younger, he knew who Hulk Hogan was, and I showed him Rocky 3, and he's like, "Why is Hulk Hogan fighting that guy?" I was like, "Because he's the Italian star, and he does everything for charity." And he's like, "All right," he doesn't get it.
But again, you guys, like raising your kids, will drop that,
Yeah,
I don't know if it was like my dad, who was never into like wrestling or whatever. No, he wouldn't if it stopped there. That you wouldn't know. That'd be it. So it depends on what you're going to expose. And Rocky 3, of course,
of course, Rocky 3. Because
he'll know Thunder Lips before he knows Hulk Hogan.
Most people do.
My kid knows who John Cena is. My kid knows exactly who John Cena is. I mean, he knows him.
Well, that dude's everywhere.
Yeah,
plus he's Peacemaker now, and Peacemaker's probably the best thing he's ever done. I don't care.
He's a hefty guy, and he's the voice of Toyota, and he's on everything.
Screw him. Eric, have you heard the whole thing with my girlfriend and John Cena?
No.
Right. Tim, you know this.
I was there. We laughed for fucking 3 hours about this.
So, long story short, my girlfriend comes out, meets all these guys. We're talking about the wrestling podcast, all this stuff. She didn't know John Cena was a wrestler.
What you think he was? Just an actor?
The actor. Okay. So, of course, my friends go off on the Back to the Future with Doc Brown, like, John Cena, the actor?
John Cena,
the actor?
so all night.
Wait a minute. Do that again, girl.
The actor?
Yeah. So all night we were going, Dwayne Johnson, the actor? All night.
So if I ever meet her, like if we're down in the city, I gotta go. When you introduce yourself, hi Eric, this is my girlfriend. I go, the actor.
Yeah. And then you have to say like, I suppose Jessica Biel is the is the women's champion.
Was it Reese Witherspoon? Didn't she wrestle Tito Santana?
Yeah, that's how we roll. No.
By the way, guys, well, Eric, I know you're fully aware, and you know him too, Grogan. My brother-in-law Jeremiah, likes to buy ridiculous things.
Mm-hmm.
He bought me a lot of wrestling figures last couple of weeks. Last week he popped up with a shirt, which was supposed to be for me, but he bought it from one of these Chinese websites that it's never going to come in the right size.
Oh yeah,
it's a gamble. Why is it a $3 shirt? Because it's a gamble. You might not fit.
Because you order a large and it's for your cat, yeah.
But Jax is a little big on Jax and he can fit into it. But what I'm about to show you might be the greatest shirt ever created by the hands of man.
Wow.
And I have to show, and I'm going to show. Oh, no. I'm telling you right now. Get ready.
Let's have it.
Here we go.
Let's have it. That's the greatest shirt in the hands of man. That's the greatest shirt ever made in the hand. Look at Piper.
Dude, we got
That's a Hasbro shirt. That's the Hasbro shirt.
We got Piper. We got Akeem on a T-shirt.
The Warrior Hawk is wait a minute. Listen, it is not complete unless the Texas Tornado is on there. Find him.
It's got to be on there somewhere.
He's got to be on there.
So you got Jake the Snake.
There he is, right there. Grogan, see him? Right below Honky.
Yep, yeah, I see him. Yep.
Harry Von Erich.
Honky's left foot. Yep.
And
greatest shirt ever.
Kerry Von Erich's foot is Kamala.
Oh my God.
Dude, Ludwig Borga is on this shirt.
Ludwig Borga is on. Every Hasbro's on there, bro. The Nasty Boys.
I wish I could wear this. I would wear this every day.
You know, I had all of those on the card.
Papa Shango.
And I got rid of them all. Don't take investment. Don't take investment tips from me.
Investment tips.
Seriously though, I mean, this is like the great shirt. There's the Boss Man, $1 Million Man.
Is it like a button-down shirt? I can't really tell. Like, what kind of like?
Yeah, it's a button-down collared shirt.
Okay.
So it'd be something like I would wear, fitting tight, right?
So in other words, if this fit me, I'd be wearing this to Grogan's wedding.
Yes.
With a bow tie.
You're getting married, Grogan?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk. We gotta talk.
Yeah, you gotta come. And he can't wear a jacket above that shirt because it would ruin the fucking shirt.
Grogan, you're really getting married?
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta talk.
Jeremiah, phenomenal job again.
It's 14 months away.
14 months away? Okay, I got time to talk you out of it.
Not a soul on earth can hide from it. It's like the fucking asteroid.
Biz Brett, Yoko.
the Rockers.
By the way, I just want to point something out.
With Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Macho King and Macho Man.
I saw Macho Man.
Don't fuck around with me, man. There's the other bushwhacker. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the headdress, Ricky Steamboat.
Where's the American Dream, baby? I need to see Dusty Rhodes or it ain't a real shirt if it ain't here, baby. There's the mail away. Look, the mail away Brett is actually in plastic.
Yeah.
So's the Hogan. No shit.
Repo Man.
Repo, one of the greatest of all time. I love the Repo Man.
Earthquake.
Repo
nice.
Man.
Look, I don't care what anyone says. You can make fun of it all you want, but this here,
that's the greatest shirt I've ever seen in my life.
This right here is a conversation starter.
You fucking right it is.
You wear Eric, if I wore this to that signing when we see Demolition.
Oh fuck, dude.
I would have had crowds of people around me.
You'd have been mauled, man.
You know what you have to do? You have to do. Have you guys seen The Terminal with Tom Hanks?
5XL. 5XL Chinese people, not 5XL American.
That means like a girl small.
Yeah.
Where's Dusty Rhodes, baby? I don't see the polka dots anywhere.
Yeah, I don't see Dusty on here.
No,
he's got to be on there.
He's got to be on there.
Jerry Staggs is there. I can see him.
You guys talk amongst yourselves until
even Shawn Michaels. There's two Shawn Michaels, the rocker and the regular one. What if they have the variant Shawn Michaels on there with the purple and black or the silver and black trunks?
Coco Beware, and they have Demolition with and without the masks.
What about Crush? Is Kona Crush and Evil Crush? Because Evil Crush had one, Kona Crush had one, and Demolition Crush. There's the Undertaker mail away.
Undertaker.
I had all of these, dude. I know. I'm the Hasbro expert, so you can't. I am the expert on Hasbro, so I'm just saying.
There's got to be one.
I don't see Dusty Rhodes.
If they missed the dream, baby, where's Kona Crush?
Hard times on this shit.
Is that one guy? Is that one him? See, I don't know. It's on the lower, like near Kamala, right there.
Tugboat.
There's Rocker Shawn. There's Smash. There's Rick Rude.
There's a third Macho Man on here. Listen.
Yeah, with the hat.
Greatest shirt ever made. Greatest shirt ever made. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it is. I can't argue with you. Now, Tim, hold it. Move it to your left. Okay, stop. Repo.
No, is that one? See the blonde? Is that him? No.
That's Greg the Hammer.
Is it Hammer?
You're going to see polka dots. If you look for the polka dots.
Yeah, I only saw the blonde hair for a second.
There's the two Warriors. Mr. Perfect.
Let me check the collar.
You're killing me.
I'm checking the collar. Let's see.
Because Dusty is the most expensive Hasbro, you know.
The collar has Rick Steiner on it.
Because no one has it because no one wanted it. I hate Dusty Rhodes.
Him and Andre are the two ones that were the most desirable. There's Sergeant Slaughter.
Dude, we got no Dusty Rhodes on here.
Boss Man's in there.
Jim the Anvil and High Energy is on there.
Yep.
Or a new. I'm sorry. In there. New Foundation. I'm sorry. What about on the other side of the sleeve, Tim?
I'm trying to check the sleeve.
The armpit.
Yeah. The armpit of the shirt because that's where he should be.
That's probably where he is, Grogan.
DiBiase.
I saw Virgil too.
Hogan, Earthquake.
That is the greatest. That is the greatest shirt I've ever seen in my life.
IRS.
Speaking of that, I got to do my taxes.
Ultimate Warrior. No Dusty Rhodes.
He's on there.
No 1, 2, 3, no Adam Bomb.
No Adam Bomb.
Because there was a whole series 6. There was 1, 2, 3 Kid, Adam Bomb, Yokozuna with the white. Ludwig Borga was in that. Why is? Oh man, come on.
That's ridiculous that Ludwig Borga's in it. Well, it might have been like right in that like where Dusty Rhodes is cut out and like you're in that new era, but still.
Because there's no Ric Flair on here.
No Andre.
I didn't see Andre either. No, I didn't see Kona Crush. Where's Kona Crush?
No Kona Crush, I don't think.
Well, it was a good. No.
Don't get Eric started.
Oh, come on.
I love that every time I see him now, I think about your hatred for him. I think it's great.
Oh, he's a fucking liar, man.
I know.
He lies through his fucking teeth, lies right on camera, and then you can go back and cross-reference the Honky Tonk Man, all these other guys who will debunk everything he said. Don't get me started.
Like I said, my old foreman used to come out with the worst things, and I would just whip my phone out and Google it and go, "Dude, you're wrong.
You're wrong."
Like, have you not understand what Google is yet? He was talking about. Remember what was the 41 shot guy? What was his name?
Amadou Diallo.
Yeah, him. He's alive. He's right. He don't not him. The other guy, the plunger up the ass guy.
Plunger up the ass guy.
Fuck. What was his name?
Who's that?
Well, back in the day, we had the police brutality. That was one of the bigger things.
Yeah.
He shoved the plunger up the guy's ass, and the guy
got splinters in his asshole. Yeah,
got a lot of money, and he moved to Florida, and he
See what it says. I don't remember his name because Bruce didn't write a song about that.
Exactly, he wrote about 41 shots.
But
anyway, he's like,
plunger up the ass would have been another great song. Huh.
He says,
what about
that guy was murdered after he got his settlement. He was murdered by the government, so we don't have to pay him anymore. And I put my phone out, and I put police brutality, plunger up the ass. No, he died. He lives in Florida right here, so he's still alive. And he was like, looking at me. I'm like, dude, Google. You can't have an epic lie and not think someone's going to call you out on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You can't really lie about anything anymore.
No, it's dumb.
Or even debate about anything. It's like there's always an answer.
It's true.
The judge is always there.
You're not wrong. What about Mike Dowd? Is he a hot topic in the city still? The 7'5" guy?
The hell is that?
Cop? Mike Dowd? You didn't know about Mike Dowd? He was a corrupt Brooklyn cop, and he was, dealing drugs and making all this side money. And you guys never saw that
documentary on?
Yeah, you never saw that Netflix documentary, the 7'5"? Dude, it's fucking incredible.
Yeah,
it's fucking incredible.
It wasn't just him. It was like half the cops. They were all on the take.
Yeah, the 75th precinct was.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Yeah, it was a good documentary. I enjoyed it. Now I'm obsessed with the fact that Dusty Rhodes had on their shirt and I had to stop. Okay.
You can't get over it. You're still looking for fucking polka dots on that giant
shirt.
Am.
I said, "Where's my polka dots, baby?" Anyway, Eric, you were talking today about what do you think about Jim Cornette first of all? Do you like Jim Cornette?
It's funny, I look at Jim Cornette now, and because I've been watching the Dark Side of the Ring things, and you see him as the guy who was, and cursing and being a normal guy, and then you see him as the guy who's trying to get heat and everything. So it's kind of weird to me. I don't know.
It's not really a different guy though. That's who he is all the time.
No, I get it, which is cool. So I'm not. I don't know. I don't know which way, but yeah, he's an old school wrestling guy, kayfabe. Let's get people to hate me kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Eric, you were talking about a little story that broke about him today. Let's get into that real quick before we talk about WrestleMania 10.
Okay, well, basically the gist of it is Corny is very critical about AEW, which everyone is, because let's face it, it's nothing but a glorified indie show, indie promotion run by a billionaire who wanted to have his own wrestling thing, overpaying all these indie guys who can't work a lot of money. I mean, there's some that can work, there's some that are decent workers, but most of them don't 6-figure plus contracts. I mean, give me a break. Because now what are they going to do when AEW folds? Are they going to go wrestle like I did for $300 in it now? Anyway, so there's a and they have a cross promotion going on with Japan. And there's this Japanese wrestler. It's a woman, and she's only 25, but she's been wrestling like 13 years. Like she started wrestling when she was like 9 or so. I don't know. But anyway, for whatever reason, she deactivated her because of things Jim Cornette has said. But Jim Cornette's never followed her. Jim Cornette's never tweeted about her. And it's a whole big like mystery of why Jim Cornette is. I mean, he's been critical of her as he is all of AEW because they suck. I mean, for the most part, they're it's awful. And so I don't know if she took offense to this, but I have a snippet of a story of him responding to this and explaining it. So why don't we listen to this, and I'll pause it off and on, and we can talk about it. But this whole story doesn't make any sense. By the way, the woman sucks. She's not a good worker at all. You know, it's like the same with Kenny Omega wrestling a 9-year-old girl. And
she's butthurt because he doesn't like AEW.
Basically, yeah. It's like, here, listen to this, and I'll pop this up, and we'll critique it as we go.
I'm with it. I'm beer grabbing, but I'm with it.
Beer grab it, Grogan.
Yep.
Hate me to begin with.
Here we go. Let's start it from the beginning.
Should we talk about AEW's television program this past Wednesday night?
I was wondering where you were going with that. Yes, we could do that.
Well, the world of AEW, and I guess, am I apparently trending again as we're talking now because of something that I was not even involved in, but the AEW fans just hate me to begin with?
It's been about a day or so, and yes, you have been trending. You continue to trend. You're a very trendy guy.
Trendy McTrenderson. So Riho has gotten off of Twitter. I never tweeted her that I'm aware of, and I didn't follow her, so I didn't know about this, but I read about it from people tweeting me saying, well, it's your fault. So how was I responsible for Riho getting off of Twitter?
From the best of my knowledge, what happened was Riho deactivated her Twitter account, and people right away, well, I shouldn't say people, a subsect of fans ran right away with the idea that she's being harassed by Jim Cornette's fans. And they came to this conclusion because Riho said nothing. They came to this conclusion because in the past, Kenny Omega has complained about fans in North America being vocal on Twitter with...
Oh, the ones they broadcast their television program to. The fans in North America, where their company is located.
That's right. So Riho deactivated her Twitter, and people jumped to the conclusion that it was because of you. And I've not seen anything explicitly say that Riho quit Twitter because English-speaking fans were harassing her. So I hate to just jump to conclusions like that. Unfortunately, a lot of people did.
And again, this is so someone that they have never met gets off of Twitter. And this is a reason for them to have violent fantasies of my immediate death. I think the one guy tweeted, and then so many people reported him. I guess they took it down or it violated policies or whatever. I hope Jim Cornette and all of his family die horrible, grisly deaths.
Oh, no, it was all the listeners. It was anyone who's a fan.
Oh, and
of
all
yours.
his listeners.
We
too.
should all.
That includes us.
Because
Oh,
Riho got off Twitter.
because she got off Twitter. She got off Twitter. She's going to Twitch, maybe, because she's going to Twitch instead of Twit. Who gives a shit? Are you serious? She is a grown woman. Have we established she's in her 30s?
She's not in her third. I don't think we've established that.
Didn't we say that? She's like 30, 31, 32. Is she? How old is she?
Hold on. No, I think she's in her 20s. Riho is 25 years old.
Okay, she's 25 years old then. She's got miles on her. She is, if the headline was Riho has been deprived of food, or Riho is diabetic and her insulin is being withheld, or Riho is in the middle of a heat wave and has no electricity, and it's all the fault of those Cornette fans. Well, you might have something to hang your hat on there. But she got off Twitter. She's an adult with a high-paying job that she's not particularly good at. I think she'll be just fine.
All right. So
I'll be the
that first snippet, Tim, that's the basic gist of it. So what do you think? Like what are your first impressions of the first part? Like
No, I can already see it now. It's not a story. It's bullshit. 'Cause like you said, the wrestling fans, we know how the bad ones get. They get
Yeah.
very they if they get very, like I said, especially with the criticism of AEW, they're butthurt. But why blame Jim Cornette of all people? Because he
Well,
talks about
yeah,
AEW all the time. So what? He hates AEW. So what? Not everyone does. Listen, I enjoy AEW. I do. The major problem with them is that you got a billionaire asshole booking.
yeah.
We've said it 1,000 times. If he were to get a real booker and just worry about the business aspect and let someone else do the wrestling aspect, the show would be completely different and be a lot better. I think
It would-
I think they have very talented guys there. MJF, there's nobody better than MJF right now. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It's just their problem is they have a millionaire playing with his action figures.
yeah, that's exactly what is going on, Tim.
That's all it is.
And like he made a point with the Kenny Omega thing. Kenny Omega puts down at North American fans, North America this. It's like, dude, you're from North America. The promotion you're signed with is from North America. Like, we get it. You fucking love going over to Japan and giving them fucking hand jobs. I get it. But like have a little class, have a little fucking, dignity and appreciate that like the 100% of your fans who watch AEW are over here. Like, not over there, like over here. And like Jim said, it goes right to the point to where, because Jim's the most critical of AEW, because he has said that there's some AEW that he likes. He thinks it sucks for the most part, like I do. But I'll agree with you, Tim. There are some talent there. There's a lot that shouldn't be in the spot that they're in, I think. But there's a lot of talented people there. Bryan Danielson's talented. John Moxley can go fuck himself. I think he sucks. Young Bucks, I think, suck. Omega has talent, but he's not utilizing what he really could do. But anyway, let's listen to a little bit more of this, and then we'll go on to WrestleMania because, this is going to be, I don't know. Let's see what Corny has to say.
Last week on the program, it's at this point not even her fault. It's theirs for thinking that this would get over, for telling her that she's a great professional wrestler because of the culture they have in Japan that has these young girls doing all these weird things that they got no business doing because it looks ridiculous when they do it.
He's right.
So, and it's not like it's not invent this line of thinking that if I'm watching professional wrestling, why do I want to see a 4'10", 90-pound girl dressed in taffeta?
No, but if anyone says something that you may have said at any point on any show at any point in history, it gets sent back to you. They're repeating Jim Cornette, so obviously Jim Cornette's to blame for all of this.
Is it my fault just because I'm the only person anybody knows?
Well, it is a very popular series of shows we do here, but a couple things. One, when I heard this news, I had two thoughts. One was, of course, Hana Kimura, who passed away via suicide after being harassed by Japanese, I don't even think it was wrestling fans. Was it wrestling fans or just Japanese fans of reality TV?
But here's the thing. They have, not to get on a soapbox here, but they have these girls. Not only do they do the wrestling thing with the Joshis, with the little small girls and the underage girls with the wrestling. We've seen the video footage. But they also have what do they call them? The idol bands, where they have them sing and make pop stars out of them. We were talking about the Monkees a little while ago. It's not necessarily that they have musical talent, but that they're cute young girls.
That's what she was on a reality show, Hana Kimura. That's what it was.
Yes, and then they
You
have
say the Monkees are cute young girls
shows where they put
I don't know.
idols or the whatever.
That's what I was getting.
She did some innocuous thing to anybody in the American culture or whatever, but it was something that they thought badly of over there and harassed her about it. The fans of this reality show on Twitter, and she committed suicide, which is horrible. And that's why I maintain that some people should not be public figures. And it doesn't
got a
just
point there.
If Riho's a 25-year-old adult making six figures, literally working part-time for AEW plus whatever the fuck else, and she has to get off Twitter, it's not like giving up food or fucking or goddamn or dialysis. But at the same time, some people don't. You can't be a public figure and expect everybody to love you and say good things. And as we've known with Twitter, this has been the opportunity for every asshole that's ever existed now to be able to say shit to people that they would have never been able to even talk to or get near before. And you got to expect that. And if you don't block them. I love to block people because it's less effort than wiping dog shit off my shoe. You say something smart aleck to me, you're going to get blocked if I see it and have time. But some people can't be public personalities.
But again, even you now are doing what other people are doing. You're assuming the reason why this person who gave no reason deactivated.
No, I was talking about Hana Kimura. God damn it, I can't say it now. But yes, but I'm not, so whatever Riho, so she got off Twitter. The people are mad that she had to get off Twitter. Like that is depriving her of some major portion of her fucking life. And why would she be upset about it? If she didn't want to put up with people fucking saying shit about her on Twitter, then she got off of Twitter. Or for whatever reason, she got off of Twitter.
I like that. I'm with that on a lot of
levels.
levels.
Home life like?
Yeah.
Before anyone wants to jump to assumptions, is Rio allowed to leave the house when she's in America? Is Rio allowed to just talk to anyone backstage without Kenny's permission? So before anyone jumps to conclusions about why Riho may have gotten off Twitter, let's examine everything. But let me go back a step, Jim. I don't think anyone should be harassing Riho or anyone on Twitter. If someone gives you a problem, give them a problem back and give them a problem a lot harder. But if no one's giving you a problem, mind your own business. That doesn't mean you can't critique something on TV that you're watching. You can.
Agreed.
But no one should be harassing Riho or anyone else. But for these fans, and again, it's a small subset of fans.
They're harassing me.
Well, that's what I'm about to say. There's a ninny wrestling audience. They're straight, they're gay, they're employed, they live in a basement. There's a ninny audience that are miserable and are just looking to take things down and take things out on other things. And you're obviously a big target for AEW fans with this Riho thing. Listen, I don't know what kind of, again, for speaking fans, I don't know what she's reading on English-speaking Twitter. I just literally don't know. And I don't know what kind of harassment she is or isn't getting on there. Jim and I both get lots of things from people who declare themselves AEW fans, wishing us death, wishing harm to our families. In this case that you talked about earlier, wishing harm to the listeners. We get this all the time.
But you know what happens when
the time. And you know, like that, that's what bothers me, because it's like if Jim Cornette, I said this in the Cult of Cornette Facebook group, if Jim Cornette deactivated his Twitter tomorrow,
which they haven't accepted
because of the most recent, I don't even know if you call it a death threat, wish of harm that came in, which just came in this morning. If that caused him to deactivate his Twitter, would this conversation be flipped the other way? That AEW fans are out of control, that AEW is at responsibility for these nutcase fans that can't take criticism of their product. It's a double standard. It's ridiculous. And again, until Rio comes out and says something, don't assume anything.
So anyway, that's basically like the gist of it. And I mean, I don't know, Tim. What are your thoughts like on this? First of all, like what are you getting out of this here?
Like you said, it's the wacko fan.
It is.
Look, even I'm not famous by any regard, but I've made comments on like other people's things, and I've got hammered by strangers.
Oh yeah.
For comments you make on like online, it's like, who the fuck are you, and why are you attacking me?
Yeah.
Why are you attacking me? Because I have my opinion. I like fucking Rogue One, the Star Wars movie, and you you don't, and I get like verbally abused for it.
Yep.
You know, but I'm not gonna fucking, you know, like I said, I block them or I tell them I hope their mother dies, one or the other. You give it back to them.
You give it back to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like it's this whole thing with Corny, like 'cause he's critical. And like I said, I don't think AEW is totally horrible. I do think as overall it sucks. I do, only because I know it can be better. Like you said, Tim, it needs to be better booked. I just know it can be better because, dude, this could have been potentially one of the greatest things that ever happened to wrestling to give some healthy competition. Like Dutch Mantel says, they're not competition for the WWE. They're just an
And
independent.
WWE knows it. They
And
know it.
WWE knows it. They do. They're not even worried about them because they're just a glorified, like you said, it's a billionaire playing with his wrestlers. That's all it is. And good for them that they got all this money. Good for them. They probably saw it coming like, fuck, we're fucking signing. You're goddamn right. Who doesn't want to make $500,000 a year to wrestle 3 times a month? You know what I mean? Give me a break. But anyway, that's the Riho Jim Cornette thing. And I'm, you know, there's other videos that explain more stuff that you should definitely watch in your spare time. The one I sent you, by the way, the first one, the first one, that's really good. And it's a little anti-Cornette, but you'll see around the rough edges. But
I actually think it's cool that Jim Cornette, like how long he's been in. I mean, again, I'm speaking somewhat ignorantly because I don't know everything that's going on with AEW and all the new stuff, but he's in for up until now. You know what I mean? He's making himself like a voice in today's wrestling. I mean, you got to give him. He cares about the sport that much that he's actually making himself a controversial figure in like today's wrestling.
Absolutely. I agree with
good
that
for
100%.
him.
Yeah.
For loving the business that much.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's one of the few. He loves it probably. He's probably the exact opposite of those crazy people. He loves it way too much, like you know, like insanely too much.
Yeah, that's his passion. That's his life. That's his thing. And is there anybody more knowledgeable aside from his opinions on wrestling? Is there anyone more knowledgeable about wrestling? Probably not. He's probably the number
history,
one.
He's been there since and then you know, and I love the idea of listen, if you're gonna throw yourself out as a public figure, deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, you're setting yourself up there. Like, be prepared for what comes with that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hey, I'm waiting for someone to attack us on here. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, so am I. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen.
It's perfectly fine. Like you said, either give it back to them, or you block them.
Or you block them. One of the two. Just go on.
Let him keep ringing.
Eric, I quit the show. I can't do this no more. No. Fuck out of here. I don't care.
Let him go back to the, you know, the packing room at Target and said, I gave someone a thumbs down yesterday.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, I told them what I thought. You know, it's like, oh, okay, go finish your Doritos. Tell Grandma you're leaving.
By the way, I wasn't exaggerating before. I don't know if it was Rogue One. It was something. It was another movie. I said, well, I enjoyed it. I got attacked.
Was that the one I came to your defense on?
I don't know. I think this one was just like I was like, do I want to? I actually deleted my name off the thread because I didn't want all the notifications. Ding 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 ding. I was like, all right, but I think I was like, I enjoyed this movie very much. Well, then you're a fucking moron. This thought, and I was like, yo,
yeah, I remember that was on PCP, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't PCP. It was another site.
What was the one that you were getting fucking attacked? I jumped in and then we were talking about it and shit. And we even told Ferracci, like, the fuck's up with this guy? You know?
Oh, I forgot that dude. Yeah, there was.
Remember that?
There was a dude. That was right when we first started with this.
That was me. I turned around though, and I like you guys.
Okay, that's okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, man, wow. you gotta like, you know, take the good with the bad when you're out in the public. Not everyone's gonna like you.
Good.
So whatever.
I disabled comments on shit that I had online. Like, listen,
I have too. I
don't need to know that. I put shit online so that I can like. If you want to hear what I gotta say, here's something. I share it. I don't need to know what like someone in Minnesota.
Here's the thing. You, whoever, we're allowed to place what we feel and what we think, and we're allowed to put it there. You can keep scrolling by. You don't have to say anything. Okay?
That's it.
You can just keep fucking going. Okay, it's my post on my page. Okay, I can say whatever I want and feel however I want, and as you can comment, but I have the right to either delete your comment, hide your comment, or go off on you and then do that. It's like.
But there's people out there who attack like children. Like oh, I like this My Little Pony instead of this one. And you'll have a grown man attack this poor kid for the wrong fucking pony.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's
Or like
insanity.
I'm on this Street Fighter page, and like fucking these guys go off like, because I'm a Ken fan. I like Ken Masters. And like you just get all these geeks with too much time on their hands. I mean, this is all they think about. Oh, well, his moveset is basically just reuse, and all they do, they go on and on and on. I'm like, dude, all I'm saying is I like Ken. He's my favorite. I don't care, about the fucking, how many fucking Band-Aids you had to put on your fucking pecker to fucking get the blisters off of it because you jerked off too hard over fucking Dragon Ball Z the other night. I don't care. You know what I mean?
And I posted shit where I've seen like people like fighting each other, but based on what I'm like, you know what? No. That's not what it's here for.
You start with other people too.
I'm like, listen, just like here it is, no comments. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, you don't like it. A view is a view. Take it.
Yeah, just
that's where I'm at.
We had the guy on the old company. He doesn't watch this show, that's for sure. You know what I'm talking about, Ruben.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ruben is he's probably gay man, which is fine. Don't care, but he's one of them oversensitive, overly. My life is only about being that. So everything you write, he's sensitive to. Mm-hmm. So when we started with the other company, I wrote something, and he fucking just attacked me for it. And I wrote to Steve, I wrote, dude, who is this guy? I'm going to kill him. I'm going to slap this fucking guy if I ever get him away from me. Like, well, who is this guy?
And I remember that.
Yeah. It's like, don't attack me because I want to. It was something dumb. It was movie related.
It was movie related. I remember, dude, because I responded. I said, hey, listen, man. I said, for somebody who thinks they're this big critic and who talks all eloquently and obviously has a fucking online thesaurus for everything that he writes, I said, you're being pretty judgmental here, man. I said, so,
if you like this movie, you're just a homophobic something, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, what the fuck?
No, I remember I came to your aid on that. I fucking nailed him with it. Like, fuck you, man. Like,
it shouldn't be that way.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Fuck him.
Right, let's get into more fun stuff. Let's do like
Wrestlemania.
Dink and Doink in a mixed tag team match.
Ridiculous.
This is wait a minute. 10 was that one?
This is 10. We're talking WrestleMania 10, continuing our journey to all the WrestleManias as WrestleMania. What number is this? 39, 48, 20?
Jesus.
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
Gotta be 38. I think it's 38.
Somewhere around there. Anyway, now we said, growing real quick, because you were at this event in Madison Square Garden. It was the 10-year anniversary, and Vince made sure we knew it was the anniversary because every commercial he was showing clips of previous WrestleManias from Coliseum Home Video.
And it was at the Garden, which one was at the Garden. So
so he was shoving that down our throats. But Grown, give us a quick little anecdote about how did you find out you were going? Was this your first event? And who'd you go with? And what did you think of the actual being there for it?
Long story short, my sister, Tim, Jed, my sister got us tickets to WrestleMania 10. Now, my sister got, like, she's always been like, she pops up with these things. Like, if I'm in, like, when I was growing up, she was 10 years older than me. Like, I like wrestling, so she'd pull up, like, tickets. So, like, she was always good to me. First wrestling event I was ever at was when I was with the Cub Scouts. Back Hogan versus Bundy, 86. What was it? Like, and when you get smoke in Nassau Coliseum, like it was like a fucking shit show, and it was awesome. Then the other one I remember was, again, my sister brought me with a friend of hers to, I want to say it was pre-WrestleMania 8, because the only thing I remember about it was the main event was Hogan and Roddy Piper against Flair and Justice.
And Sid, yeah.
Does that sound right?
That does sound right. That's about the right time for that.
And man, like when you went to a wrestling event back then, I mean, the Hogan music and the beer and hot dog smell of the Garden, and it was like freaking, it was a big deal. And to get WrestleMania 10 tickets, I don't know how she did it. I really don't. Who knows what she paid for them back then in like today dollars?
I was going to say they were probably $500 back then. Yeah.
And God love her, she sat through all this shit and pretended she was interested. So we went to this, and I'm trying to I'm 14 years old. I'm trying to feed her how important it is that it's fucking WrestleMania, and trying to catch her up on why this was this and whatever. And again, you have to remember what it was like being at a wrestling event with no commentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a difference in pay-per-view back then. I don't know how it is versus house show. House show, like someone slammed somebody, it wasn't as loud and crazy as when it happened on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
A pay-per-view, someone slams somebody, like boom.
Yeah, especially back then. Especially back then. They popped for everything, man. They
The
popped for
lights were
wrestling.
better. The sound was better. Everything was like amped up. So it was my first pay-per-view, and it was very different than going to a house show.
And then go like it's way over, they go above and beyond.
Yeah. And Little Richard, So I got to say I saw Little Richard sing live.
Wow.
Oh,
At least half the song.
We talk about it all the time, Grogan. I said now, in today's world, I prefer a house show. Well, not a pay per view. I'll still go. I still like pay per views, but I prefer a house show to like a pay per view because now they have more freedom at the house shows. They fuck with the crowd. They play with the fans. They'll take pictures like in the middle of the match or something with you. On TV you can't do that. So I really prefer house shows.
So
now.
all house shows, there's still house shows where they're not like,
Yeah, if you look up house shows now,
these days?
no, WWE, they have a lot of fun at these house shows now.
Okay.
They're a lot more fun. Like I said, I took Jackson. He was younger and he loved it. I loved it too. We sat ringside in Binghamton. Binghamton's tiny.
There's no ramp show, right? It's just the aisle.
Just the aisle.
Nice.
Did you guys remember when we were young and every once in a while MSG, you'd catch a house show on MSG and everything was dark and blue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the MSG network used to air the monthly WWF.
Yeah. And
shit,
the camera shot was over the aisle.
Over the aisle, yeah. It was so good, man.
Yeah, it was. I used to flip out every time those were on.
And you felt like you were getting a little bit of a backstage, like you felt like you were sneaking one in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we were, we were there like at freaking Wrestlemania, for Christ's sake. I just watched it again recently in preparation for this, and I'm looking for myself. I couldn't find myself.
Now, was this maybe Eric? Maybe if not Grogan, was this one of the first ones or the first one with the Fan Fest?
Might have been.
I think this was definitely I want to say I'm 90% sure it was the first Fan Fest because they did it around that time, and they had the Paramount. People were watching it next door.
Yep.
And they were doing I think it was the whole trying to make it. They didn't do that in 9 because they couldn't.
Savage busted into the Fan Fest which
was awesome.
Yeah, he busted in there and jumped in with the crowd. So that was cool. Fan Fest is they do a great job. So I took him when WrestleMania was here. I'd rather go to Fan Fest than anything else. But what really got me for that one was Paul Bearer was taking pictures in the coffin.
That's awesome.
I was like, I would kill for that. That's fucking great.
This was at the one you were at, Grogan, 10?
Yeah, but I didn't go to Fan Fest. I was 14. I want to say I probably would have had that. No, I'm too cool to stand in the coffin. But I looking back, I would have been pissed I didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was still. I think it was more geared towards 10.
Yeah. No, you hit that one age where I'm too cool for this.
But I mean, I was still holy shit, and explaining to my sister, this is the whiny bitch who's Bret Hart's brother, and this is why I'm explaining to her each match as a. And you know what I noticed also? There was a lot more gimmick shit in those matches. Each match had a weird, different stipulation when you look at it.
Which we're gonna
get to it, but
because one of them really annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
To me, it didn't make any sense. Well, all right, let's jump into it. By the way, again, I don't know what the network does, Peacock. But they don't give you every match anymore, and it's annoying.
No, they don't. I don't know why either. I don't know what the reasoning for that is.
Because I was saying it because the first match was the Heavenly Bodies with Jim Cornette and Jimmy Del Rey, whoever the hell that is.
Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey
taking on the Bushwhackers.
Yeah,
Tim, man,
this wasn't on the network.
No, they don't do.
How do you not know who all these guys are?
Who the hell is? I don't know. No, also, you got to remember
you weren't a territory guy. You only watched WWE.
No, but at this time,
Heavenly Bodies were a big WWE. I mean, not a big, but they.
No, I know
they were.
Yeah, but 9, 10, 11, I didn't watch because that was my oh my god, I can't stand the clown, I can't stand the garbage guy, I can't stand the fucking
I'm with
Bastion
you.
Booger. I can't. So I used to watch Raw, but nothing else.
Okay.
So all these
Okay.
WrestleManias. This is the first time I've seen this entire WrestleMania. By the way,
No
today.
shit. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've
So-
ever watched this one.
So I
It's
think
the first
safe
time
to
I've
say-
watched it since I've been there.
There you go. But is it safe to say you can both correct me if I'm wrong? This is one of the worst WrestleManias, yet it has two of the greatest matches ever in the history of WrestleMania in it.
100%. 100%.
Remember, we did the best, our favorite WrestleMania matches, and both Owen Hart and Brett and the ladder match are both in those on those lists.
Yeah.
But overall, as a card, I mean, this is horrible.
No, and like Rogan said, some of these stipulations were just stupid.
Each one had some like sort of weird stipulation. It seemed. I mean,
Yeah.
Also, I can't reference this match now because it was non. But Rogan, do you have any recollection of the heavenly bodies fighting the bushwhackers?
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, I was so in at that point. Like, I was such a fan that I knew it was a dark match.
Oh,
You
so
know
it was
what I mean?
dark. It was definitely dark.
It was a dark match.
Oh, okay. So that's good then.
So they kicked it off right after that match. They're like,
Yeah,
"Ladies and
and then they
gentlemen."
introduced like Vince McMahon, like, you know, and you start seeing like all those things on the screen. They started showing, like, you know,
Yeah.
for the start of the show. So you knew that was just a
That
let's
was the
get our
warm-up.
sound right match.
Yeah. That was the checkpoint. Yep.
I like, you know, I knew everything that was supposed to go on, and I'm like, this is a dark match.
Well,
So-
the first official match, like you said, was Brett versus Owen, which we've talked about because, you know, you got two of the best going at it. My favorite part of this was when they flashed back to Brett. First time, and the only time he ever wore shorts. The pink onesie with the short. I was like, dude, that threw me off a little bit. It messed with my mind. I'm not gonna lie.
he had to separate himself from his brothers because
This
he's
was-
that much of a fucking asshole.
I was like, whoa, why is he?
Well, he
wearing
wore
shorts?
this. He wore like a real singlet, not just the whole
a
pants.
real singlet. He had the everything on
that's the
top was the
second time.
same, but the little tiny shorts. I was like, dude, this is
That's
crazy.
the second time he's wore that.
And I hope it was the last because it was
The
horrible.
first time was the Survivor Series when they wrestled the Knights. Remember?
The Knights. No, see, if this was around that time, I wasn't watching the pay-per-views. I only watched Raw.
It was right. It was the
that.
Survivor.
No,
it was
that's
the,
what that was. That's
It
what
was
he's
the
talking about.
Survivor Series previous to that. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was. They flashed
That's what
back to
Tim's
that.
talking
This
about,
was-
yeah.
they
Yep.
flashed back to it. Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Anyway, we don't know about this match. It was a great match. Owen wins it. I was shocked myself that he won. Back then, anyway.
Gotta say,
I was too.
remember,
I was too.
I remember my sister going like, because you heard Owen going, yeah, you know, him being a real dick, and I remember my sister going, I hate this guy. Like she had no idea who anybody was, so she was catching up as I was catching, and so you got to give it to Owen for
Oh,
making
yeah.
someone who had no idea what was going on hate him.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh no, he was great. He was a great dick. He was
Yeah.
a great dick.
Heel. He was a good heel.
And it was
He was.
great for them to set that up where he beat, and then eventually, you know, Brett, and then that sets up the I beat you before you got this and the feud later on. It was a perfect way to do it.
It was good. So
I agree.
what can we say about this match? Like I said, this match made all our top WrestleMania lists, so we can skip this one. But can we talk about Cy Sperling? Do we all know who Cy Sperling is?
I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
So he pops up I'm like, why is Cy Sperling at WrestleMania not at 10 and I'm not? That's not right. And he gave Howard Finkel a wig.
Yeah, he put the weave on him. Yeah,
None of the WrestleMania celebrities were really like.
No.
well, that was the equivalent
At their peak.
of trending back then because Cy Sperling was hot. The
I
Hair Club
guess.
for Men was all over everything, and Vince is smart on throwing he's popular, but only in certain. You know what I mean? Vince followed the
Rhonda
demographic.
Shears, Jenny Garth,
Up all night.
Donnie Wahlberg,
Donnie Wahlberg, come on.
Burt Reynolds. Burt
Yeah.
Reynolds.
Vince knew what he was doing.
And Burt Reynolds was everywhere. He was all up in there, Burt Reynolds.
I mean, Burt Reynolds would have been Burt Reynolds anytime, I guess. He's like always famous, but still. I mean, Donnie Wahlberg did the introduction he gave was fucking awful when we got to that.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It was pretty awful. So the next matchup, by the way, this is how it was introduced, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was Bam Bam Bigelow and his main squeeze,
Yes.
Luna Vachon. By the way, I rolled, started laughing.
Mhm.
Why is it his main
Main squeeze. That's what he called her, his main squeeze.
Did not remember that at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, why is this a mixed tag match? By the way, are they saying that a woman is equal as a midget?
Which you wouldn't be able to get away with today.
No, I think they just needed. I think they wanted a gimmick match, but they wanted something that would equate to the silliness of Dank.
Well, why call it a mixed tag? Because it's not man. A mixed tag is a man and a woman.
They're saying a woman is the equivalent of a third of a man.
Yeah, that's what it comes across as me. Like,
well, yeah, that and a mixed tag. You know, you have a midget and a wrestler, a midget and two clowns, a midget and a regular guy, and then Bam Bam, and yeah, mixed tag.
And they're not allowed to fight. So again, that's a thing. So here's me explaining to my sister, no, like the midget has to fight the woman.
Mm.
The midget can't be in the same ring as the big guy
with a tattoo on his head.
The woman can't fight the clown. There's a lot of pressure on me as a 14-year-old.
Trying to explain the ins and outs of
trying to catch everybody up on this, like all the rules.
Yeah.
Well, this was a terrible match, and Bam Bam decided that he could jump real far, and he couldn't because he went for his big headbutt and he missed.
Like
and
by
he
a mile.
And he hit the shoulder, and they covered up and he hit him in the shoulder, and he got the 3 count. I was like, dude, he fucked that up.
Who was commentary on that? It was Vince and who? Vince and Lawler?
Jerry Lawler.
Because that's when JR got fired again, I think.
And by the way, Lawler said at the end of the match, Doink and Dean came up a little short, which I thought was funny.
Which was awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
And but I gotta say, really short, in the absence of Boss Man, I know, Eddie's gonna. Bam Bam was the glue.
He was what?
The glue. Bam Bam did this. He did this, making himself look like an idiot, following this, and then he did the LT thing. You know what I mean? He was just there. He was a good wrestler that could be the guy that fought stupid matches.
And he hired Oliver Humperdinck instead of one of the established.
And then he was a $1 million corporation guy after that. He just kind of went where...
He went to WCW, too, when the first WWF didn't pan out in '88. He wound up in WCW.
He was a good worker.
ECW, WCW.
ECW. Yeah. He was all over, man.
Underrated wrestler. And did a lot of stupid shit.
Did cartwheels.
Yeah.
That was all cool.
Mm-hmm. Beast from the East.
That's why my name is Beast from the East today. I was thinking about him. All right, so next up, this is here we go with the gimmick matches. We got Crush versus Macho Man Randy Savage, and
nice.
I'm not gonna say I cried for Randy Savage in this match because it didn't make any sense to me. It's falls count anywhere.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3. But if you pin them outside the ring, they have 60 seconds to
run back in the ring.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I remember when that was going on. I'm thinking to myself, why is this? Because it was a good match. If they just made it a regular match, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I thought. These two going at it would have been great. But
great match.
It turned out to be just like a weird, 2 weird finishes, a bunch of weird finishes. And by the way,
awful.
Let me ask you a question about Crush, by the way. What's his timeline? He went Demolition, then he went Hawaiian good guy, or did he go with this guy?
So Brian Adams in a nutshell is he started out in the Pacific Northwest. He was Brian Adams. Then he was the American Ninja. Then the WWF got wind of him because Bill Eadie couldn't, so they hired him on as the third Demolition. So he started out in WW. In your world, he was the third. He started out as Demolition. Then Demolition broke up. Bill Eadie left, so they split Demolition up. But Barry Darsow, they wanted him to have a gimmick, so they gave him the Repo Man. Well, Crush had already signed again, and they saw a lot in him. So they gave him, and he's a babyface, and he's talented, great worker.
So he was Hawaiian, good guy.
He really is from Hawaii, though. He's not like he doesn't talk like this, brah. But he really is from Hawaii. He's a white guy from Hawaii.
So they used it, yeah.
Yeah, so they played upon that, and then he's a big fucking strong dude.
Got into the Doink thing.
They kept him as Crush and feuded with Doink. He almost slammed Yokozuna, but then the whole Savage thing came about because in real life they were really close friends. He was actually his bodyguard for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Crush was Randy Savage's bodyguard.
it was Crush,
Demolition,
good guy, Hawaiian guy,
Kona Crush,
then this bad guy Crush,
Evil Crush, and then he left for a while. And then he came back as Nation of Domination Crush. Then he was DOA Crush. Then he went to WCW's Chronic. Then he came back to WWF's Chronic, and then he untimely passed away.
See, speaking of you saying how strong he was, I wrote one of my notes. He pressed Savage, and not Savage helping him the way the wrestlers do.
Yeah,
he pressed Savage in the aisle. He pressed him and dropped him on his face.
Me and Eric were talking last time about how, honestly, he probably could have done the Yokozuna Slam if he wanted to.
He could
have.
Because you guys, my favorite summer was 92, where he actually faces Crush or Smash, the Repo Man.
Yeah.
And Smash is 275.
Mm-hmm.
And fucking Crush picked him up, and he not only had him up, but he fucking pumped him.
Yeah.
You know, and fucking Barry Darsow wasn't helping him at all. So I mean, Crush was a strong motherfucker, man.
But let's not forget he's Kona Crush now, so now he's like Hawaiian based, but he has Mr. Fuji because you have to make him evil.
Evil Crush, yeah.
You have to make him evil and like the Japanese influence on Hawaii, and
Yep.
And I'm gonna have to give Savage also a little bit of credit, because on that press, which I said there was no Savage helping him, he pressed him and he dropped him on the fucking railing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Savage hit that railing.
Is that why he's bleeding?
Yes, he hit that railing, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I don't know if that was on purpose, like he took that for the team, but he hit that really hard. And then
he did.
Crush got the pin, and then Savage had to run it. You got the pin, you got the fall. That's it. 2 out of 3 falls, no holds barred. Why you have to run back in the ring? I have no idea. Savage waited, of course, so 3 seconds and
he actually got me there. I was like, "Did Savage know?" He actually got me. I was like, "He's not going to make it back in." He made it on the last second.
Yeah, but I think Savage was still fucked up from that face shot, because I wrote this down too. I don't know if you guys remember the part of the match where Savage is upside down in the corner, and Crush was basically hitting him in the balls. And Savage was no selling it though. I don't even know if he was awake during that part. But Crush is punching him in the nuts, basically.
I think he actually got hurt.
And Savage is laying there like, dude.
He might have been concussed, yeah.
He might have been a little fucked up.
Yeah, I think he might have been concussed.
I read that this was his last televised WWE match.
Yeah, because he left shortly after that.
Yeah, they stuck him in commenting for a while, and then he left. Yeah,
which is awesome for me to say that I saw the last one.
That
is awesome.
Yeah,
but it was weird being there live because you're watching it on the screen when they end up outside.
Yeah.
And just in the arena, it's not the same as watching it at home. It's one of those things.
Yeah,
I never saw Savage live.
Oh, never. Shit, really?
I saw him. Oh my god, I saw like classic Savage when he was the IC champ. I saw him when he was face Savage. Saw him when he was Macho King. Yeah, I saw him like 3-4 times.
That's rough, Tim. That really sucks, man.
Yeah, I saw every incarnation of him.
It hurts my parts when I think about it. Well, what are you gonna do? Yeah. So anyway, the match was very not good. Like it was just like it was beneath, I think, to both of them. But Savage drags him out to the back crutch, and there's the convenient scaffolding that's in the middle of a rampway. Scaffolding.
Yeah, they just happen to be
with a rope attached to it, where he ties his leg.
Doing drywall. Yeah. Oh, let's leave this here.
Yeah, ties a rope to Crush's leg, gets back in the ring. Crush,
but he couldn't even secure him. Did you see how he fell on his fucking head?
Yeah. He just tied his leg. He hung him upside down for a good, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm bad with knots. Also, I could see how that would be.
Yeah.
Until he fell down. So Crush couldn't get back in the ring. Match over. I was like, what a shitty. When you have 2 guys as good as these who could have put on a match, what a shitty gimmick, stupid match to have with these 2 guys.
It felt rushed.
Yeah. And it was, what was it? Let me see. How long was it? It was.
That should be a good 12, 14 minutes.
9:49.
Yeah, 9:49. It felt rushed. It did feel rushed. Everything felt rushed.
Well, that's because it was that was a pay-per-view. Vince wants everything.
I get it, but it just felt rushed.
Yeah.
It was beneath Randy Savage, and I'll even say it was beneath Crush too, because it was just a shitty, gimmicky. Like, falls kind of anywhere, cool. 2 out of 3 falls, cool. What's this running back in the ring nonsense? Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know, just to add more tension.
All right. Next up, Alundra Blaze.
Oh, that's right.
Leilani Kai, and me and Jerry Lawler were on the same page, because when I saw Leilani Kai in the ring, I was like, "Wow, she's just not attractive." No. I could have swore she was one of the good-looking ones back in the day.
I don't think so.
And as that's running through my head, Jerry Lawler goes, "Oh, what a looker!" And I started dying laughing again. I'm like, thank you, Jerry. You said that right out.
Yeah.
Well, she wrestled at WrestleMania 1, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You're right.
Yep.
So this is who you're throwing out there. Like, this is how much they cared about women's wrestling, man. Like, you're throwing this, like, antiquated chick out there against Alundra Blaze.
Who probably wasn't antiquated. She was probably only like 33.
She was only, like, yeah. Like, I looked her up. She was born in 1960, so she was 34 years old then.
She was a rough 34.
Oh,
she
yeah.
was a rough 34, yeah. I dated rough 34. She was up there. But she was like, you know, like, I don't know. It was just very basic and just putting Alundra Blaze over. And then they showed Moolah on the sidelines. Like, I don't know. You could have done better, but they weren't trying to push that.
No, that was just basically a here, have a woman's match, give her a payday.
That's it.
After that, yeah, they cut backstage after that match to Rhonda Shears getting her attention. HBK comes in, you know, says, I know why you're here. You're with me. Let's take this picture. And then HBK gets bitch slapped by Burt Reynolds.
No shit.
Which is funny.
I missed that one.
Funny.
I missed that.
Funny. Yeah, so Rhonda Shears ended up leaving with Burt Reynolds, and HBK was like, all right, whatever. And he walked off. So it was kind of funny. Where were we next? My notes. Which really annoys me. Men on a Mission.
Oh god, that whole thing.
Oh yeah,
fighting the Quebecers for the World Tag Team Championship. And
I actually went to the bathroom during that match and just kept the door open and listened to it.
This was 741 of pain.
I like that match. I liked it.
You like the Quebecers?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, the Vince accidentally called them the Mounties.
Probably, yeah.
One of them said the Mounties, and they're like, "No, that's not the Mounties. It's the Quebecers." It's like, they kind of correct them right on fucking TV.
By the way, Jerry Lawler had a couple of great Alundra Blaze lines also, which is like, "I know how to get Mabel to lose weight. Just introduce him to Alundra Blaze and look at her face, and he'll lose his appetite." I mean, that was great.
That's good.
Just a couple of great lines.
He's got good one, man. He really does.
He wasn't as good as Bobby Heenan, but he was good.
It was up
He's
there.
close.
Yeah.
He's close.
Well, this was a disqualification. It was a boring match. I really didn't like it.
Well, Mo's about 87 years old.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
Mabel didn't even hit his peak weight yet.
No, he was still slim Mabel,
yeah. When he was viscera weight, he was huge.
Yeah,
oh
and
God.
Everyone's like talking. You know, Vince. I mean, obviously saw something in him that always a big guy. We could use him.
Yeah, Vince liked big guys. Yeah.
But trivia that just came out recently. Undertaker put Viscera in the Ministry of Darkness because he didn't want to fight him because he's a sloppy, horrible wrestler and didn't want to fight him. So let's put him with me so I don't have to fight him.
And Oscar, eventually they got rid of the Oscar thing, which is good because he was terrible.
Yep, terrible.
You didn't like Oscar?
No, I mean the whole 90s rapping thing. I mean, it was like, everybody say yeah, and then they show the most uncoordinated white people going.
Oh yeah, that's I think what they wanted to achieve. I think
What was what's the current? I don't even know if they're still current. There's a shit. When I was watching it a couple of years ago with Jerry, there's a team that does their shit. I don't know. They're
a rapping thing.
They're not a rapping thing, but they're the same way. Fuck, what are they called? But it's a couple of and the kids are into it and they do that. And
this is wrestling you're talking about?
Yeah. They're
like the Nation of Domination, PG-13.
No. It's more recent than that.
Well,
I'll have to look it up. But again, it's the same thing. It's about getting people dancing and shit like that. It's not about wrestling.
Oh, this was a horrible match.
I'm gonna look it up. Look at.
He's probably talking about either the New Day or
New Day.
The New Day.
Yeah.
Same thing.
At least the New Days can wrestle though.
Okay.
They can wrestle, but yeah, they were three guys who were really all about getting that crowd involved.
Yeah.
So after that wonderful match, we actually get thrown out our first championship match.
Oh god.
Yokozuna taking on Lex Luger, the first match for the world title.
Hard was Vince trying to sell Lex Luger?
I see again. You're on my mind. I wrote it down right here. When he came out, Vince's exact quote: "The very embodiment of the red, white, and blue." I said, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, he's like an Amway salesman trying to fucking not letting you go until you buy something.
Listen to this crowd, and the crowd was not into it at all.
Like, hey.
Mr. Perfect, for some reason, was the guest referee,
I hate special referees.
and he came
Like,
out in his
Oh,
tight shirt.
they're not going to take any shit. Really?
Yeah. So this match was again when Yokozuna, being as big as he is a better worker than you. You got a problem, and that's not taking anything away from Yoko. That's shitting on Lex Luger because, dude,
Yeah.
you're terrible. If
Yeah.
500, well, not 5, he was more than that. 600-pound Yokozuna can outdo you in a wrestling match.
But it's not that's he already had a leg up on him. He's Samoan. He got trained right, and wrestling's in his blood.
Falling out of the ring.
Oh my god, this guy was getting hit and flat out throwing himself back. I mean,
yeah, he threw himself out of the ring backwards, and I was like, dude.
Yoko was great, man.
He was. Really?
Well, this was and this again. You have a championship match. I understand Brett's going to win it later. Sorry, spoiler for anybody who's watching.
I mean, it's been out 30 years.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Mr. Perfect referee, and disqualifies Lex Luger. Well, first of all, you got Lex Luger hits him with the bionic elbow and drops him, which is a stupid move.
That was terrible.
Drops him, Yokozuna down. By the way, again, he took fantastic bumps, Yoko.
Yeah.
Jim Cornette interferes, ends up in the ring. Fuji ends up in the ring. Mr. Perfect decides I'm not going to count 3 because I want them out of the ring first. Lex Luger gets pissed, grabs Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect disqualifies Lex Luger in a world championship match for touching a referee. Now, if you watch this match over again, Grog, you just watched it. I don't know if I can remember. All he says is ring the bell, and then he walks out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doesn't explain to Howard Finkel what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Howard Finkel has to come out and say, "Oh, well, he disqualified him for touching the ref. So here's your winner by disqualification."
I gotta say, I knew that.
Yeah, you knew it.
I knew when he shoved him, and then he went like that. That's what it was. I knew he was calling the match. I mean,
but you would think Mr. Perfect would sell it, saying, "Hey, Howard, this is what happened." But he went like this. He rang the bell and he left. He literally walked out of the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lex Luger chases him down, and Mr. Perfect had the best line. And again, I don't know if he meant to stutter, but Luger's yelling at him, and he says, "That's my story, and I'm sticking to it." Just the way he said it. Again, I don't know if he did it on purpose or he was just kind of stuttering in the moment, but the way he said it, sticking to it, I cracked up laughing.
Yeah. He also looked like really jacked up.
That's awesome.
Like I said, even though, why can't you have a straight defeat then? Why something as stupid as this?
Because Lex Luger can't lose because he's the embodiment of the American dream.
It was a shittily booked WrestleMania, man.
He can't lose because the entire American economy is based on it.
So, by the way, after this match, now they were setting up, Yoko and Brett in the main event. They showed 2 montage videos. Now, I don't know what the music they used back then. Maybe they used different music and they don't have the rights to it, so they had to throw in shitty generic music. But it was horrible, horrible, shitty generic highlight reels of both guys, and it was fucking god awful. So it was bad. It was bad. And again, now we fast forward to very, very oddly, Harvey Whippleman picking on Howard Finkel because of his hairpiece.
Yes, setting up a huge feud.
Yeah. Which is 35 seconds long. This feud, by the way. Adam Bomb comes out to defend. I know Grogan loves Adam Bomb.
But wait a minute. Before that, you got to remember that Harvey Whippleman is going for the cheap heat, where it's like, you're a scumbag, cocksucker, fat, and you like the New York Yankees. Howard Finkel's from Jersey.
Yeah.
But New York Yankee because he's just trying to get that boo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really bad.
It's true.
That's how you work.
Adam Bomb comes out because Adam Bomb's awesome.
Well, Jack's funny. Can't match champion as a referee. Technically, he could, but at a WrestleMania, you can't have ends. You can't have decisions like it's a horrible way to end a match at a WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. So yeah, Adam Bomb comes out to mess with to beat up on Howard Finkel, and then
Yeah.
Earthquake comes out, squashes the shit out of Adam Bomb in 35 seconds.
Mhm.
End of the match. Adam Bomb's a joke. And Vince McMahon has the balls to say maybe Yokozuna will see Earthquake down the road
Yeah.
in a championship match, and we're all going, that's never going to happen.
No.
We all knew that was never
Well,
going
they
to
did
happen.
their sumo things. Didn't they do a sumo thing?
They did do a sumo thing because Earthquake was a legit sumo guy, like legit tough.
But that was ridiculous. That Earthquake just came out and murdered one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, it was. It was bad. And by the way, Eric, I know you're going to be upset with me with this, but I'm going to kind of shit on Brett at the end of this next match. So
Oh
I'm
my
not shit
God.
on him. I'm not going to shit on him. I'm just going to point something out. So that was the other. What was the last one, right? Oh no. So now we got the ladder match.
Ladder match.
Ladder match.
How much do we have to say about the ladder match? We've always talked about it. If you ask any wrestling fan, it's fucking top 10 greatest matches of all time. Not just at WrestleMania, just altogether.
Ever. Yeah, ever.
And I actually, Grog, because you were there, Grog, I wanted to ask you, did you understand the significance of what you were watching at the time, or was it just holy shit?
I
Because
absolutely did.
This was the
I
first time
absolutely
we saw a ladder at WrestleMania. This
Yeah.
might have been the first time we really see a ladder on TV.
Yeah.
I think the only
remember
other one was a Super Series, Brett and Sean, right?
Was that before this one though?
No. That was after, wasn't it? I don't know.
I think it was before.
Might have been, but I didn't. Yeah. So, like, all the things they were doing with it, like, you know, just like the ingenuity of coming up with a different thing when he first slid into him with the ladder, and then, like, you know, like falling down on him and pushing him with the ladder and then laying on the ropes, all that stuff. When it ended, I literally looked at my sister, and I'm not even like, I was like, that's one of the best matches that you'll ever see. Like, that's going to go down. And I knew it, and I was right.
Yeah.
And I've read about it, and they said there's been better ladder matches, but not up until then.
Well, they're talking about that's because the Hardys, the Dudleys, and the Edge and Christian took it to a next fucking level where they were.
Yeah, but they overdid it, and now none
ladders,
of them.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, now none of them have a career because they're all hurt. Like,
but honestly, it like pisses me off now that I know what I know, which is the 10, you know, the 10-man tag, you know, that was supposed to come after. Now that we know that these guys just took their time with it, and there was another match that just wasn't there. Because I'm like, no, it can't be like the main event now because we're missing a match. At the time, I'm like, I didn't get.
Do you remember who those guys are supposed to be?
Yeah.
Who the guys supposed to be?
who was it?
Shit. It was IRS, the Head Shrinkers. Shit.
1, 2, 3 Kid was in there somewhere, I think.
Well, on the other side,
The other
Jeff
side.
Jarrett was on the heel side. IRS, Head Shrinkers, Jeff Jarrett, and Rick Martel.
Wow.
And
Was Smoking Guns weren't in that?
Smoking Guns were on the other end with 1, 2, 3 Kids, Sparky Plug,
Sparky Plug.
Bob Holly.
Wow.
and shit, I forgot the fit. But they ended up doing that match on like Raw and Tatanka.
I threw that out there. It had to be Tatanka.
They ended up doing that like 2 weeks later on Raw. And what they gave away was they made up a thing where all the heel guys were arguing over who would be the captain, and that's why they didn't do the match. They actually did a thing, and the whole reason is that they were trying to reach these guys, and Shawn and Razor just said "fuck you" and kept going.
Well, now that we know what we know, Shawn, Razor, Diesel, the Click, they pretty much ran that shit back in the day, and yeah, you know.
But I mean, out of that whole card, I mean, the more matches you could have. I mean, that tiny match with Adam Bomb. I mean, you're talking about a basically like 4 or 5 matches out of your flagship pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Anniversary.
Yep.
And you're talking about like, I mean, not that match would have been epic, but shit, give people another match.
It's true.
I mean, you guys tell me. I don't know. But anyway, go ahead. So yeah, ladder match ends, and they go straight to the main event, right?
The main event, which I don't know. Brett was tired. Brett was hurt. Yoko tired, Yoko hurt. I don't know, but to me, it wasn't really that great of a match.
Brett always has to pretend he's hurt so that he could tell a story.
It could have been a better match, but I mean, they both wrestled twice. So
that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they both wrestled twice.
It's harder on Yoko to wrestle twice than it is with Brett.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, anyways, we had Jenny Garth and Donnie Wahlberg down there for this one.
Oh God, Donnie Wahlberg. Yeah.
But what was it talking about this match though was everyone, Bret Hart now will go out there and say, because sometimes we think he's a little delusional, I beat Yokozuna at WrestleMania. Well, Yoko fell. He fell. Remember that? He lost his balance.
Yeah.
And fell on his head. And Bret Hart just happened to pin him.
Yeah.
To me, that's like a shitty way to end it because and I know, this is one of the greatest things ever. And Bridge is like, he did the impossible. No, Yokozuna fell off his ass onto his head, and Bret just happened to pin him.
Well, how about how he beat Piper? He did the same thing he did to Steve Austin with the sleeper and flipped over and pinned him. And it's the same in the same vein as what he did to Yokozuna. So as far as originality goes for a finisher, Bret scores a 0 for me.
Yeah, because I'm just saying you didn't really.
No,
you didn't submit him. You didn't hit your finisher to make him tap out. You didn't really beat him. He fell.
Bret was great, but he lacked that last bit of pizzazz that he could have had. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's just something, I don't know.
Well, let's not forget that again, every time someone beats Yokozuna, the entire freaking face community has to come up and put him on his shoulders.
Oh yeah, they all came out of the locker room.
What is that? Because it's Yokozuna and he's so unbeatable.
Well, that's what Vince was trying to sell it. He's selling, oh my God, he did the impossible.
We're waving an American flag for a Canadian who just beat him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did the impossible. I'm like, well, technically he didn't do the impossible. Yokozuna fell off a middle rope onto his head and knocked himself unconscious.
Yeah.
Not really a great win.
Now, did he capitalize? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. He got the pin.
Innovative? Was it innovative?
Like, I would like to have seen an actual move done, like some kind of freaky move done to pin Yokozuna for the 3, rather than him just falling off the middle rope onto his head.
Yeah.
So,
Bret likes that middle rope to finish, I'll tell you.
He does. So, like I say, Grogu, once again, how did this match go over live?
Well, I do remember people being really pissed about Lex Luger. I mean, the whole freaking place, guys cursing and everything, when Lex Luger didn't do it. But when Lex Luger didn't do it, and no titles changed hands, I knew that Bret was going to win because there had to be a title change.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not, but I figured, no, this is what it's all gearing up to.
Yeah.
So when he won, it wasn't a shock to me. Again, it was underwhelming how he won it.
Again, to me, the crowd didn't seem into it.
It was underwhelming how he won it.
Even when all the wrestlers came out and they're putting them up, they were like, "Hey, whatever, hey."
Yeah, and
they didn't seem like there's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. The big guy fell on his head. All right, hey.
I mean, think about it. Think about the people who beat Lex Luger with the count out, even Hogan with the win. People just aren't no one really definitively beat Yokozuna.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when people did, it was just they tried to celebrate it so much that it looks silly.
Yeah, it did. Yoko got the salt to the face from when Hogan beat him. Then there was a count out, and then this debacle.
Yokozuna dominated his year or year and a half or whatever it was in a way that a lot of people haven't.
Yeah.
I'd say he was top 3 maybe as far as his era. It was, people kind of paid to see him. I mean, in the Royal Rumble previously, he killed The Undertaker.
Yeah, he did.
He killed The Undertaker.
He murdered him, literally.
He murdered him.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, not a great WrestleMania. This is why I think it's at the time I wasn't really watching. So I watched Raw. That's really about it. Horrible, back-to-back horrible WrestleManias.
Yeah. I mean, it was a rough time.
Even the one after this, 95, wasn't that great.
Was that the Lawrence Taylor one?
That was Diesel versus Shawn in the main event. Like that WrestleMania wasn't great either. Like
How many? I have no concept of time. How far are we away from actual WrestleMania? It is. We are. Oh, so next week will be our last show before WrestleMania.
yep.
So next Tuesday we should do. I think we should do 11 next week. Oh my God, this is 11. 11 I didn't watch. 12 is 12 the first one I watched in a long time. Or was it 13?
After the Lawrence Taylor one, they lost me. That's your Salvatore Sincere years.
Yeah.
And yeah, like your Waylon Mercies and your Dumpster Drosies and your that's when it started to lose me a little bit.
Your pig farmers and your clowns.
Yeah, your Godwins and your Triple H's and your slot matches, and yeah, that's where I started to go.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So after I'm done with all those, I'm gonna go back to like WrestleMania 1 and then restart.
Nice.
And watch your SD Jones. Guys
Yeah, SD Jones lose to King Kong Bundy in a minute.
Yeah.
I met SD Jones.
Why?
The Ridgewood
Why?
Grove Arena.
How much money did you give him?
He was at the Ridgewood Groves Arena when I used to be there. That's the first time I ever saw wrestling live, and I laughed because Jimmy Snuka was supposed to be there, and he didn't show up. And then after watching The Dark Side of the Ring, I knew why he didn't show up, because he was crazy.
Okay.
And he didn't show up at any time he wanted to show up. He just didn't show up. So we had the Tonga Kid come anyway.
Okay.
So I remember seeing Tonga Kid, Bob Backlund. I touched Bob Backlund's sweaty back because we were ringside, and I touched him when he fell near us. It was pretty gross.
Yeah,
and then in the parking lot, my mother was taking me and my cousins back to the car, and we were like, "Hey," he's like, "These all your kids?" She's like, "No, just one of those many." Oh, okay. Well, all these kids. Oh, hi, SD Jones. Back then no phone, so couldn't take a picture with him or anything.
Yeah.
So
sorry to hear that.
That was my first wrestling greatness.
SD Jones. That was it.
Right. SD Jones, the Tonga Kid, and Bob Backlund.
It's like when I met Captain Lou Albano in a restaurant. I went up to him. He came up to me and goes, "Hey, kid, you watched the Mario show?" And I'm like, "No."
The Mario show.
That's not why I'm shaking your hand, dude.
You're fucking Captain Lou. That's why.
You're fucking Captain Lou Albano. Yeah.
Do the Mario.
Yeah. Swing
which was fun. Which was fun.
No.
All right, so I guess we're gonna wrap it up there. But I said next week, WrestleMania is only a week away now, which is awesome. So
what number are they up to?
39. I think I looked up. It's 39.
By the way, just want to point this out. I was talking to a little kid probably like 10 years ago or whatever it was, and they were talking about wrestling, and I was like, "What number are they up to?" And it's like 20 whatever, and I'm like, I was at WrestleMania 10, and the kid looked at me like I said I was at the fucking Gettysburg Address.
Yeah exactly.
This kid's like, what, 10?
This is 39 years ago. I remember you're watching the first one.
Yeah, like these, I can understand. I'm fucking ancient. It makes me feel terrible.
It's depressing as shit.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for reminding me of that. It's nice. Nice to be honest.
Every week we remind ourselves of this. That's all we do every week. Every week, holy shit, I'm old.
Mm-hmm.
And every time one of our heroes sprouts out something, ridiculous like Hogan or Brett, you're like, God damn, we're old.
Andy Kaufman's going in, I heard.
I just saw that today. So
far, we have the Great Muta and fucking Andy Kaufman, and who was the other person we said? Rey Mysterio. Rey
Mysterio.
Last week you guys saying, yeah.
And there's a rumor that Stacy Keibler is going in. There's again, Batista supposedly was supposed to, and again they're shitting on him. I don't know why. Something happened where he is too good for the Hall of Fame all of a sudden.
Who's this?
Yeah.
Batista.
Oh, fuck him, man.
I don't know. Maybe he's gonna be the last one they announce. Usually the last one they announce is one of the bigger stars. So maybe they'll announce him at the end.
I don't know. I'm about over Batista.
He has Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out. He's gonna have to do something to promote it. So
it is too bad too. Like I was there. I helped train him. Like I was one of his beat up dummies, and like I was there the very first time he ever set foot in a wrestling ring. I was right there.
No.
Well, that guy pisses me off on his fucking recent acting things. Anyway.
He's a
where
twat.
he's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm a serious actor. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. Fuck off. You're a fucking
Fuck
actor.
you.
You're
You're
fucking
lucky.
piece.
You're lucky you even got what you got. I mean,
Yeah.
What? Now you're Marlon Brando because you don't want to do Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy anymore?
So sorry you make fucking $20 million a picture.
Yeah.
You know.
Don't cash the residual checks, then, you prick.
All right, so next week I think we'll hit 11.
11. We should, because that's a shit show too.
Maybe 11 and 12, because I know 13 was a major comeback. That was the
13 was a good one.
13
was a good one.
Stone Cold Brett, and that was
Yeah, see, I was out of it by then. I don't know that one. Maybe
11 and 12, man. I gotta say the Diesel Shawn main event was disappointing to me.
You know what? We'll do 11 and 12 next week.
We should, yeah.
13
we
is the
should.
beginning of the Attitude Era, so we know 13 was good. I watched 13. I was back. I was back in full force with 13. So
yeah, I saw it too. I saw it live.
So we'll do 11 and 12 next week. Plus, at some point next week, maybe Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, I'm sure Hollywood Dave will come back, and we are going to do a WrestleMania preview show. Don't forget, it's 2 nights. They can't do one night anymore. WrestleMania is April 1st and 2nd. Saturday and Sunday, we will do a pre-show. We will go over every match, make our predictions. I think this year we're going to actually write down our predictions and see how we do. I did real good on the last preview. I think I only got one wrong. So I'm going to keep track of that shit.
I'm in it for gambling on it.
We could figure out a way to do that, I guess.
Yeah, we could run a pool.
Yeah, we can figure out how to do that. That'd be fun. But Grogan, you're more than welcome to come back next week for 11 and 12.
I'll let you know if I can catch up to it. Yeah.
And we will, once WrestleMania is over, we will get back to the Trial of the Ultimate Warrior, which I know everyone's. I did get several messages that I missed that show. You did not miss that show. We had to postpone that show.
Yeah.
It is coming. It is coming full force. Us three will all be there, plus Dave the lawyer, and the boss will be on, and Eddie I know wants to come on. You know what, Eric, as a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a little word of advice. Don't cross-examine Eddie.
Oh, I'm going to tear Eddie to pieces. I don't care. I'm tearing. I know he doesn't like him.
He's anti-warrior. I'm just trying to give you a heads up.
I already know he is.
Because you have the card stacked against you right now, my friend.
Well, I want him stacked against me. I'm Jack McCoy from Law and Order. You're not going to put me. You're not taking me. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Eddie, listen. Eddie does not scare me. I don't care how many fucking Yankee jackets he has. I don't care.
I'm just saying.
How many pairs of blue and white fucking sneakers he has.
I'm just saying we haven't found anyone, or maybe you have, which is good, but we haven't found anyone publicly on your side. That's what I'm saying. Because Rogan, we know, is anti-warrior. Eddie, I know, is anti-warrior.
And then don't forget the 4th, April 4th. My tag team partner will be on. So
so go ahead, say it. Announce his fight. A grand gesture. Announce it.
Well, on the 4th of April, we have a special show coming. My ex-tag, we're never stopped being a tag team. He's my tag team partner. We were the Wild Things on the independent circuit. Vincent Goodnight, a.k.a. nowadays known as Vinny Lee Glamrock, doing a great thing on the independents. He's going to be our special guest on the 4th. He's going to have some footage to show us, possibly me wrestling. So cool. Hopefully, he's definitely going to be here, but we're hoping we can get the footage jacked over in time to get it. But either way, it's going to be a great show. Vince is a great guy. Vince has a great story of how he started and how he came up and how we got introduced. You know what I mean? It's just, we started on the same day.
I can't wait to ask him about, old Eric back in the day.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
We were a tag team for we were a tag team from 98 to 2000. Yeah, so
cool.
Awesome. Yep. That's April 4th. Like I said, we'll have a WrestleMania preview show probably early Saturday afternoon, right before the show actually starts. And the probably Ultimate Warrior will be coming up in a couple of weeks. Vincent, April 4th. We have a lot of good stuff coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you all stay tuned. Grogan, thank you very much for coming by again. We appreciate it. Especially your inside knowledge into WrestleMania 10 that you were there.
Yeah, we had a fucking ringer. We had a ringer in there.
I think I was on the side of the ladder also where I saw Sean's ass. Just letting you guys know.
That's worth the ticket. That's worth the price of the ticket.
It's worth the ticket.
It's worth the price of the ticket.
Wish I could have taken pictures back then, but phones weren't phones.
I know. Yeah. Back then, you lucky you snap that fucking thing, you'll get like half a leg in the picture. You know what that is? Stupid fucking 90s or 80s, whatever it was.
The fuck you 90s. Fuck you 90s.
Fuck you 90s. That's how we're going out.
Well, that's the one thing I do like about today's world is we can just fucking whip a camera out anytime we want.
I know it's ridiculous. Yeah,
It is. It really is the bane of our existence, though, because like it's ruined everything.
Yeah.
In a way.
I know. Yeah, fuck.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining, Eric, my friend. I'll see you in the chats. I'll see you on the things.
Bye,
And everybody, remember one thing: we're better than you, and we know it. Peace out.